Good evening and a very, very, very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. Welcome to episode, it's 58 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's going to be a big one. A very warm welcome to you, Steve Curtin. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Had a good day today for a Monday and got to see that man in person at lunchtime. Santino Mamone, a big supporter of the show. So that was a real highlight of the day. Shout out to Santino. And I also got to meet for
Look at that.
There we go.
There we go. Straight away, we're into
You're right on the money there, Tonci, with that picture straight away.
He's look. We're not going to mention we're in Australia. We're in Geelong, that is, but Liver Street must give it away there.
There could be an O in front of that liver as well.
Yeah, it could be. I reckon that's probably what it is. Yeah,
you can play a bit of Geelong GeoGuessr and work out where that
is. Yeah. But a little bit of stargazing there, finding Santino Mamone. He is the true star of Geelong soccer. Big shout out to Santino. He's always every week in, week out. He's like the patron saint of the Geelong Region Soccer Show, promoting us, and now we're going to promote him for a change. But
that's it, mate. And also on Friday night, I met a big supporter of our show for the first time. Can you guess who that might be?
Oh yes, one of the gold members of the Geelong Region Soccer Show, Vladimir Zetovic. A big shout out to Vladimir. I don't have that photo, unfortunately, though.
Well, not only did Vladimir come up and introduce himself, but he also volunteered to help carry our kit all the way around the ground. That's a long distance. And then he spent the evening on the hill with us, being our right-hand man, literally onto our right. So that was great to meet Vladimir on Friday night up at Green Gully.
Yeah, look, all jokes aside, to be honest, I hate being in front of the camera. I prefer being behind the camera. And I look to all those people over the years. When you run into people and they say, geez, you've made my week. We love listening to the show. And it's quite humbling in a sense that we're being able to project such positivity into people's lives, whether it be with the Football Out West show, whether it be the Geelong Region Soccer Show. I mean, it's season 3, episode 58, as you can see. It's a remarkable feeling, Steve. So I'd like to thank all of our loyal listeners, viewers, supporters, advertisers, fans, because without you guys, there's no point in running this show. There's no point in doing this show. And it really is. Look, this weekend, Steve, was just football from Friday evening all the way through to Sunday evening. And, mate, wouldn't want to have it any other way. Dead set. Right. Community grassroots football is absolutely fantastic. And we do have...
Also, mate, just quickly a shout-out to Maxi Santic, who's pointed out there that Craig and I had our own personal security guard there in Vladimir on Friday night, which was good. And Maxi's another guy who I got to meet for the first time this year when I was doing the St Albans game back in round 1. He came up and said hello at halftime. So it was great to meet you as well, Maxi. So that was another good opportunity. So hopefully we'll get to catch up at St Albans again soon, perhaps as well.
Absolutely, Steve. Now, we've got a big show tonight, a big show for you, ladies and gentlemen. One of those shows I really love doing, because tonight, the sponsor of tonight's show is the Breakwater Eagles Soccer Club. Big shout out to everyone down there at Falmungers Road. But it's one of those clubs, they've got a rich history, but they're not a big club. They're not the biggest club, certainly in Geelong by any stretch of the imagination, but they've got a club with a real heart and a real community feel. And, mate, these are the clubs I love to get that little bit of an insight into. And we're going to be joined by two, one captain is not enough. You got to have 2 co-captains. And Jared Ross, who's on the committee as well as being a co-captain, who also I'm told is a very, very, very gifted designer, graphic designer. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. He will be joining us a little bit later on in the show, as will Josh RADCLIFFE as well, one of the other co-captains. Like I said, Steve, these are opportunities to find out a little bit about what makes some of these little clubs tick, and the uniqueness and like these are the clubs that add to the rich, kaleidoscope of the Geelong football community, the football ecosystem. So I'm really looking forward to this, mate. Are you?
Yeah, me too, mate. As you know, we've had Breakwater on before last year, and
we did.
And that was a really enjoyable chat with the guys from Breakwater. I think they'd come in off the training track to come and have a chat with us. I'm not sure if they were trying to get out of that last running bit at the end of the session. But no, it was really good to get the update from the guys there last year. So I'm looking forward to hearing, what's happened over the last 12 months. And now that the community season has kicked off, how things are going there down at Fellmongers Road. Very exciting to hear what's going on there. So, and just quickly, mate, I haven't asked yet. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Fantastic. As I said, from late Friday afternoon, if you like, all the way through to Sunday night, it was all about football. And this week, Steve, where we're talking about it, it's going to be even a longer weekend because the Football Out West show is now moving to a Sunday night time slot. So in much the same concept as what we are, where we're doing a post-mortem or rehash of what happened over the weekend, the Football Out West show is going to be very much in that same vein. So we're hearing possibly you might be joining Craig and myself this Sunday. Is there any truth to the rumour there?
I don't know. I feel like I should keep the suspense going now. But there's a good chance that I'll make an appearance with you guys for the first time in a few weeks. I think we did a show together when I filled in for Craig, but I don't think we've done a show together, all three of us, for quite a while. So, and it's always fun when we do that. So,
absolutely, we might even have talk back. And gee, is there a lot to talk about these days? But we're gonna focus on the local Geelong scene. So many games that have been played this week, and as Steve steps away from the microphone, he's going to get ready for the pardon me. He's going to get ready for the news desk. Don't go away, folks. We're not going to be too long on the other side of this very, very, very short break. It's all about the weekend roundup. Don't go away.
All right, so here is the news on the Geelong Region Football Show for Monday, the 26th of April, 2021. And let's get some of those weekend results up on the screen from the weekend, where we'll start off with the Saturday NPL 2 and NPL 3 results. And you've got them there on your screen. As you can see, North Geelong Warriors, they had I guess maybe a surprise home loss to the Bulleen Lions, going down 2-4 with goals scored by Nick Kosdra and Jamie Nogler. And the disappointment, I suppose, in the NPL section of the results continued with Geelong going down to an 87th minute winner in the later game that day against Whittlesea Rangers. Alan Guerres with the goal for Geelong in that one, in their 2-1 loss. And look at that rainbow there.
Yeah, as you can see, the rainbow, it started off really nicely, didn't it? But then it sort of seemed to deteriorate, as did the weather. In the first half, it was quite a shocking start, if you like, for North Geelong. They went 3-0 down at one stage, and then things sort of seemed to improve. They pulled 2 goals back through Nick Kosdra and Jamie Nogler. And then a late own goal really affected things thereafter. But quite a disappointing result for North Geelong. It was their first loss of the season. And you can see at one stage, I think that the conditions were quite wet. I mean, there the sun's come out, but a little later on, I think you'll see where, there you go, the rain clouds affecting. And it really did have sort of play havoc with a lot of the games around town. But North Geelong now will quickly have to regroup. They've got a big game coming up on Wednesday, FFA Cup. They are the only Geelong team remaining in the competition. Here the heavens really started to open up. And look, they've got a big game against Keilor Park, State League 1 side at Elko Park, kicking off at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So hopefully the Geelong football community can get out there. And Steve, I'm told that a lot of the lights have been improved. There's a lot of work that's been done to the Elko Park lights to get him in readiness for that vital FFA Cup clash. And look, there you go. The gutters there of the Elko Park grandstand couldn't cope, and you can just see the absolute rain. It was just the heavens really opened, that's for sure. But so anyway, back to the ladder actually. So
to the table there, you see North Geelong there sitting in 8th place now on 6 points. And we'll go have a look at the State League, NPL 3 table, where Geelong find himself in 7th place on 7 points.
Yeah, so look, a mid-table finish. With Geelong, it was a 1-1 game right up until the 87th minute. It was things were looking good that they were able to hold on for a valuable point. Unfortunately, it just didn't so happen. The Rangers got a goal, I think it was in the 87th minute or thereabouts.
Yes, correct. Yep.
And that was the nail in the coffin. And Geelong suffered its second loss of the season. But, a win there could have really catapulted the club, well, certainly up to about 4th position on the ladder had that have happened. But it just wasn't to be, unfortunately. So there you've got it. Both the Geelong teams now find themselves in a mid-table position. And this week's fixtures in NPL, Steve.
Yeah, I was speaking to Craig Filer earlier today. He's making a bit of a weekend of it there. He's heading up to Shepparton on Friday, I think, ahead of that match with Goulburn Valley Suns hosting North Geelong Warriors. That's at 4 o'clock at John McEwen Reserve there. And then for the Geelong Soccer Club, they've got a trip to Epping Stadium. That's on Sunday. Just make a note of that on Sunday. It's against the Melbourne Victory young boys there in their academy group. So interesting to see how they'll go. I see they're sitting both equal on 7 points on the table, both of those teams. So evenly matched as far as the table goes.
Yeah. Let's move along to the State League. And first of all, the State League, it was round 5 in State League football this weekend for the men's competition. In State League 1, not a result that the Greens from Corio would have been looking for.
No, that's right. They managed to score second half goals from Billy Argyros and Vedran Stojanovic, who played in this one. But they were reduced to 10 men in the 20th minute with Santiago Breton being sent off. So that certainly didn't help their cause there.
Yeah, if we look at the ladder now, they're starting to drift into that dangerous kind of relegation zone. Look, 5 rounds in, there's still plenty of time. I mean, there are 22 rounds in that competition, so there's plenty of time still to come. It was good to see Vedran Stojanovic back, not only in action for the first, but amongst the goals. That player, if he can really turn a game around, and if he gets the service from the midfielders, Billy Argyros, he's just one of those hardest working attacking midfielders. Great to see him getting amongst the goals as well. So look, there's a little bit of positive there without a doubt. But sitting in 10th position, not exactly something that you want to be in. Now, the big one, the big British Derby, as it was being dubbed, and there's been a little bit of publicity in the Geelong Advertiser in today, which is great to see. Speaking of which, there's been quite a fair bit of publicity, and tomorrow's Addy promises to have even more coverage. So that's what I'm told. But Steve, up at Myers Reserve, the big British Derby, how'd that pan out?
Well, it was a really good result for the host there at Myers Reserve with goals from Ed North in the 20th minute and Jimmy Hiddich with an 85th minute winner to seal a 2-1 win over Hoppers Crossing in what was a match that I'm told got a bit feisty at times. I'm not sure if anyone was there and they can give us their feedback as to how they saw the events proceed, but a really good result for Rangers, who might have been going in as outsiders in this one, I'd say, Tonci.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I stand corrected. It wasn't Brimbank Stallions that beat Corio. It was Essendon Royals. Thank you, Santino Mahmood. Another spelling mistake. We've got the Gremlins attacking us. But about the Geelong Rangers Hoppers Crossing one, it was quite an eventful game, I'm told, just reading by the some of the reports. But if we got anyone that was at the game, let us know in the comments section. We'd love to know. But Rangers now also in 7th position, so they're kind of holding down that mid-table position. A very, very young squad, though. So 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses from the opening 5 games is not a bad effort at all. And when you look at some of those teams that they're up against, Hoppers Crossing, Western Suburbs, Hume United, Strathmore, who have secured 5 wins from 5 games. It's a tough division at the best of times. But this one is going to be a really, really tough division. But good to see Rangers, holding their own. As I said, a youthful side, and give them a few more years, and they're going to be a powerhouse, I reckon, in that State 2 competition.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If they keep that playing group, it's only a matter of time until the improvement comes, given the average age of the squad. They're looking good. Now, we'll go to State League 4 now, and got the result there with Bell Park. They were held by Laverton Park, who've been one of the form sides so far this season, and it was Josh Talev again scoring in the 21st minute, and then he scored a crucial 89th minute penalty to make sure that Bell Park got a share of the points on their away trip up there to Laverton Park. Surf Coast, they went 2 wins in a row, beating Truganina Hornets 5-1, which is a great result for Surf Coast in their home fixture on Saturday. And there was goals for Jack Banks, Brod Van Brandstein, Jordan Swaney, Jasko Ikanovich scored a double in that one. So really good result for Surf Coast there.
Absolutely. They're really, really starting to hit their form after a somewhat shaky start to the year. But one team that's really started off shakily and at the moment doesn't look, they've been very competitive. There's no doubt about that, but they're struggling to string together some good results, and that's Golden Plains, the Bannockburn side, going down 3-2 to a tough North Melbourne Athletic there at Flemington Road Reserve. They're a team that's quite a tough side at the best of times, but that would have been a good chance for the Plains to sort of escape that relegation zone, if you like. I know we don't like talking about relegation so early in the season, Steve, but I guess if we're going to describe it, you do want to, I think there's that psychological thing of even early in the season trying to escape those danger zones. But if we look at the ladder there, let's look at the top firstly. Laverton and Bell Park, equal top spot. Equal goal difference. Just Laverton has scored 1 goal more than Bell Park. Now, Bell Park scored 10 goals and conceded only 4. Of those 10 goals, I reckon 9 of those have been scored by Josh Talev or thereabouts. Maybe not 9, but not far off it.
Well, I think he's got at least 8.
Yeah. He's proving an amazing goal machine and the ideal replacement for Mio Marinovic. Surf Coast also starting to creep up the ladder, 3 wins and 2 draws. Very good goal difference of positive 10. In fact, they've got the best goal difference in the league. So they're now in 4th spot. And as we mentioned, Golden Plains in 10th spot at the moment. We'll have a look a little later on with regards to the fixtures. But let's go back now to State 5, the Geelong League, or the quasi-Geelong League.
Yeah, well, just quickly again on Golden Plains, they were winning that game at 1.2 goals to 1, so they did sort of let it slip in the 88th minute where they conceded the winner to North Melbourne. So look, hopefully they can get some motivation out of that situation. They also received a red card as well in the 88th minute as well. Had those goals scored by Mute and Nelson. So yeah, hopefully they can do a little better next time. I'm sure they'll be motivated for the next outing after that. So State 5, we'll start with that Surfside Waves result against Wyndham.
Now, talk about a team that started off poorly initially and have really, really come good. Surfside Waves, in the last few games, they haven't just won, they've thumped their opposition.
Well, they had a really good win last week, and now they've... I think that score might be the other way around, though, mate. I think that's a 4-1 loss to Surfside Waves.
Was it? Was it indeed? Oh, really?
Alexander Ketchen scoring the only goal in the 56th minute, and they went down at home at Shell Road Reserve 4-1 there against Wyndham FC.
Oh, bugger. There you go. There's so many results to get through. No, you are right. There's a 1 win and 4 losses. So unfortunately, I stand corrected.
I was really taking the wind out of the sails there. Sorry about that. But it was a good win last week, though, by Surfside with their first win of the season and their first points in State League 5. So look, I'm sure they'll hit back next week. Surfside Waves.
Geez, I'm glad I've got you. Otherwise, I'd be feeding all our listeners and viewers all incorrect information. But but all these leagues, there's that many games to and
it's insane.
I tell you what, I spend most of my Monday day, in fact, preparing all these results. And there you go. You can check it so many times and still find something wrong with it. But nonetheless, that is the ladder. Keilor Wolves running away at the top. They are going to be hard to beat. They've got 5 games, 5 wins. Lara United doing extraordinarily well. 4 wins and 1 loss. They're in 2nd spot. And then Deakin University, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Should we talk about that Barwon Deakin result as well?
Let's talk about that.
So that big derby at Reserve Road. I'm sure if anyone was there, let us know what the atmosphere was like. I'm sure there would have been a great crowd, and it would have been pretty exciting bit of action out there in the southern suburbs. And Barwon, they received a red card to Ben Houston, which was costly. They managed to score their goal through Billy Robinson with a penalty kick. But then, it was all Deakin University there with Frank Melito, Harry Scott, Ipanya Kilimbi, and a penalty from Marcus Lindenberg. So a 4-1 win for Deakin Ducks. So a result that, well, we thought it might have been a little bit closer than that. But of course, a red card can always affect things a little bit in that way, as we've seen in a couple of games this weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it wasn't just the weather that was affecting things. It was the cautions and the red cards and the send-offs and what you're not. But as we said, we'll take one more look at that ladder there. As we mentioned, Barwon slipped now to 5th spot. Look, they're still not far off the pecking order, so to speak. I mean, but it is a very, very tough division, that one, isn't it? Just to try and get in, it's a really tough division. Or to get out of, I should say. It's a really tough division. But look, having said that, Surfside Waves, if they can, there is no relegation this particular division, by the way. The Surfside Waves, if they can string a couple of good results and get back up the ladder, they've scored a lot of goals. I mean, they've kicked 10 goals, conceded 17, but certainly, if there is one team in State 5 that is worth watching, it's definitely Surfside Waves, because they've got all the goals following them on a regular basis. Now, what we'll do is we'll very, very quickly now look at the fixtures coming up for this Saturday, Steve, starting off with State 1.
Yep, so State 1, Corio back at home at Hume Reserve against Whittlesea United. State 2 sees Geelong Rangers go on the road to take on the Albion Rovers. So Rangers versus Rovers there in State 2. In State 4, Golden Plains get a chance to get the points at home against Laverton in what will be a very tricky encounter at Bannockburn Sports Precinct. Bell Park, they're hosting Melbourne University, and Surf Coast on the road to Barnstonworth United. That match at JT Grey Reserve, all those games at 3 o'clock. In State 5, Lara United hosting Balmoral, Barwon hosting the Keilor Wolves. So a couple of
should be a
difficult
big
home games there for both of those sides. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Barwon will be very pumped after that loss to Deakin. And I'm sure Dale Harris will have his charges. He'll be fuming, and he'll have his charges working extra hard on the training track this week. And here's a great opportunity for Barwon to redeem itself, but also to take down the league leaders. At the moment, Keilor Wolves are looking invincible, if anything. And sooner or later they're going to have to slip up. And this is the perfect opportunity. And look, if they do so, Lara United wins. Well, Lara United will jump to equal top spot. So, what a good opportunity would be for the Geelong clubs. They're working together.
And those last two fixtures there, Deakin Ducks, they're on the road to Victoria University Sporting Complex there in Werribee South. That's against Wyndham FC. And Vladimir Zedovich's Melton Phoenix, they're going to be hosting the Surfside Waves at McPherson Park. That's a Saturday night game at 8:30.
At 8:30 p.m. kickoff, exactly, yeah. So that should be a good game. And that's Vladimir Zetovich's Melton Phoenix. He's a stalwart down at the club in much the same way that the Rain Man, Brenton Ray, is a stalwart at Hoppers Crossing. So,
and Brenton was there at Myers Reserve on the weekend. He says the match Hoppers and Rangers was a very tough, hard-hitting, physical game, and he's watched the match with Centennial on the sidelines, and Lisa Brooks as well. Great resilience shown by the Rangers. Proud of them, all despite some nasty injuries. Onwards to Albion this week.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's turn our attention now to the ladies in State League, first of all. Now, we've got the first game there is the Galaxy United game. We've even got a little bit of footage from that one. And this is from Saturday night's game there at Stead Park.
You were behind the microphone for this one, mate.
I was. I had the privilege of commentating this game. And I'll tell you what, look, apart from the fact that it was a very frustrating game if you were a fan of either side, really, there was some simple errors being made by players from both sides. But I guess as the dew started to become really prevalent on the park, the ball was going all sorts of places. And look, the first touch was letting both sets of teams down, but mistakes were being made in the back line. And look, that's what cost Geelong Galaxy United a defensive error, I guess, late in the game, and Southern United pounced on that. Apologies for the little bit of the jerky type of screen, I guess, there. But Yeah, look, a reasonable crowd for Galaxy's standards, because you had a fair few bit of players that in this particular passage of play here now, is quite good how they knock around the Galaxy in their red and black, kicking to the right of screen. And they managed to sort of knock it around a little bit. But yeah, look, a bit of a crowd, because you had a few people, quite a few people, in fact, stay on after the Geelong fixture, the Geelong Soccer Club fixture. But yeah, look, Galaxy have got a lot of work. But the other thing is, in the last maybe 15 minutes, you could really see the Galaxy players start to tire. And that's simply because they'd played 2 games. The well-publicised decision by the Galaxy players, I suppose, in hierarchy, to play 2 games back-to-back, because they weren't able to attract enough players for a reserves team. But in the end, what happened is they've decided that they're going to play reserves and seniors. So the senior team was going to play the reserves and seniors. And I guess in that way, they're going to ensure that they fulfill their commitments. But look, in defence of Galaxy, Steve, they have tried all sorts of things. They've offered, I think, 10 scholarships, if you like. In other words, all their fees would be paid for. They've tried to approach different clubs for the clubs to field the entire team in the reserves. It just didn't come out. They've tried to really push the fact that Galaxy provides that pathway to the elite level, and they just can't seem to get the players. So it's a brave, heroic decision. Maybe some would say foolish, because obviously time will tell whether this too much playing, too much football will see injuries and the like being suffered by the Galaxy players. What are your thoughts, mate? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Oh, look, I probably don't need to extend anything on what you've already put out there. They've put in a lot of effort to try and resolve the situation, and it's not the ideal, not the optimum situation, with players having to back up, of course. And as you can see there, it's affecting their senior results with a 1-0 loss there. So I don't know what they can do to resolve that at the moment, but it's not the ideal situation.
Now, I'm told they've had a few young players in recent weeks, or actually in the days leading up to last Saturday's game, sign on with Galaxy, so the reserves team. So that's a good start. They even had one of the under-13 assistant coaches, a big shout out to Jennifer Smith. She is the sister-in-law of Branko Kristevski, the president there. She pulled on the boots. Well done. She's quite capable football, I'm told, having played futsal for many years. So it was great to see someone like that pulling on the boots, and hopefully she'll provide a little bit of inspiration for other people, younger people in particular, to don the red and black stripes of Galaxy. But look, they won 8-1. They won 8-1
in the reserves game, which is good.
Once again, the 1-3 was last week's scoreline. It should be 0-1.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 result. A 1-0 result to Southern United. And just moving through the other results there, just to keep things moving. State League 2, Lara United, they had a 2-1 win over...
Not 2-0, that's right.
2-1, yeah. So the goals there, Hannah Gauci and Izzy Wilkinson. So another good result there for Lara in the women's in State 2. They're going along great. And after they had the forfeit win last week, this time North Geelong Warriors got to take the field, and they gave the Point Cook Jets a bit of a touch-up there, 12-0, 4 goals to Lyra Herrich, a hat-trick to Louisa Kump, and doubles to Marcela Fierro, Zoe Tizard, and a single to Tiana Vidakovic.
Now, we'll go through the ladders very quickly. So firstly, we'll go through the State 1 ladder. The State 1. There's the State 2 ladder. Lara are in third spot, so they're looking good. 2 wins from 2 games, and Ryan Horrocks, their coach, says Lara beat the Swifts 2-1. Swifts leading 0-1 at halftime. Thank you, Ryan. So great stuff there. In State 3, the ladder sees the North Geelong conquering North Geelong on top there by virtue of goal difference. So that's a really good result in many ways there. And I don't seem to have do I have the VPL ladder? No, I don't have the VPL ladder. Thought I did. Oh, really? I'm not on the ball today. Oh, I'll tell you what. I need a holiday.
You do need a holiday.
Yeah,
You've earned a holiday.
No, I think. Actually, here I am. What am I talking about? I've got it
Oh, you do
right
have
here.
it. There you
I
go.
do have
was
it.
trying
Yeah.
to find it myself. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. So there you go. Galaxy 2 losses from the opening 2 games, unfortunately, and they've sort of slipped down to 8th position on the ladder. Look, I think Galaxy will not be there for too long. I think they just need to gel. I think that little bit better. They've got some good players. Madison Rakic in the middle there is a gun playmaker. She's when she turns it on, she turns it on. And I'll tell you what, there's another girl who's who they played her a little bit more defensively this week, Josie Lonsdale. Tough player, absolutely tough player. And if you haven't, go on the Geelong Galaxy Facebook page and watch some of the highlights. Watching her play, I tell you what, she could dish it out with some of the blokes. I tell you what, she's a powerful player, a great central defender, a really, really reliable player too. And, Emily Sutcliffe as well in that attacking midfield role as well. So, look, they do have some good players there. A big shout out to their keeper, Vicky King. She was brilliant in goals. And I'll tell you what, she kept the team in the game on the weekend. She was absolutely phenomenal. Mate, I'll tell you what, Galaxy are a lot better than what their ladder position suggests. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to getting out there to Stead Park and seeing some of their games this season.
Yeah, let's go look at some of the fixtures coming up now.
Yep, so there you go. VPLW, that match for Galaxy is on this Sunday at 3 o'clock. It's a long away trip, though, to face the Casey Comets. In State League 2, Lara United, they are away to Brighton at Dendy Park at 3 o'clock on Sunday. And also at 3 o'clock on Sunday, this is a top-of-the-table clash, 1v2, North Geelong Warriors against Avondale FC. That should be a beauty.
That should be a beauty. I mean, it's hard to say. It's such early days at the moment. But I know Avondale FC have certainly got a long-standing women's program there at Avenger Park, and they certainly will be. I mean, they certainly are not hiding the fact that they would like to eventually one day rise the ranks to the NPLW competition, as would North Geelong. And I'll tell you what, North Geelong have got some very good players as well. Lara Herrich is ripping it at the moment, as is Louisa Kump. And there's a few other players there. Zoe Tizard's another one that got amongst the goals on the weekend. But there's some very, very good players there amongst the Warriors. And look, to beat any side 12-0 is no mean feat. Look, we don't know what Point Cook are like. Will they be the team that's going to finish on the bottom of the ladder, or were they just having a bad day? Or were the Warriors exceptional? But I tell you what, this Sunday will most definitely provide us with a better insight into that State League 3 women's competition and where the Warriors stand. So really looking forward to that. Now, Steve, Ryan Horrocks also, he's now our resident journalist this week, taking over from the Rain Man.
Ryan. Yep.
He does. He's popped in the comment section there. The Nike FC Cup Round 4 fixtures have been confirmed for Galaxy and Lara. You can see it there on screen. Galaxy host Bulleen on Tuesday, May 18 at Stead Park. So that's going to be a night match. So that's one of the NPLW teams that will be taking on Geelong opposition. And Ryan's Lara United travel to Calder for what will be a very, very tough game. But I guess what? It's a game, Calder United, the reigning NPLW champions, arguably the biggest women's club in Victoria. I suppose they are, aren't they? You'd have to.
I think, they just are.
They just are, I mean, them in South Melbourne
Not
fighting
arguably.
for that title, I guess, if you're a South Melbourne fan, you might beg to differ. But yeah, definitely from our point of view, I think Calder are the biggest ones. So what a challenge awaits Lara United, but also a great opportunity just to test themselves and see, what they're like against the best of the best. And that game is on Wednesday, May the 19th. So a lot of Nike FC Cup action coming up, as is the FFA Cup this Wednesday at Elco Park. At kickoff is 7:30 p.m. when the North Geelong Warriors take on Keilor Park, and that should be a fantastic game, eh?
Yeah, looking forward to actually getting out to that one on Wednesday night. It's falls quite conveniently with my schedule, so I'll be keen to get out to Elco Park and enjoy that game Might see you out there.
Oh, I hope to get the second half. I'll be involved with the Man versus Fat Soccer program at the Leisure Time Centre. We are still looking for a few more gentlemen to get involved in that. By all means, we'd certainly love to see you involved. Every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. till about 8:30 p.m. up at the Leisure Time Centre. So we'd certainly love to have as many of you people involved as possible. Mate, we're going to have a short break, I think. I think we've gone
running a bit over time. We've got to get our guests from Breakwater. They're patiently waiting, so we'll be speaking to them very soon.
I was just looking at that, and I thought, oh, my Lord, we are really, really running late. Okay,
and the score from the A-League, West United, 1 goal up against Newcastle Jets, courtesy of Nikolai Topper-Stanley, 12th minute own goal.
Oh, 12 minutes own goal. So we will be finishing up before the halftime finishes up, so you'll be able to watch the second half of that game. Okay, folks. Well, actually, I think we bring them on straight away. So we've got.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we've got Jared Ross, and he's ready to come on any minute. We're going to get straight into it. It's Club in Focus time, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all about this week the Breakwater Eagles, and the man that's about to come on the screen now. He's the general committee member, and he's also one of the co-captains, Jared Ross. Jared, welcome to the program. Great to have you on board.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Great to see a lot of young people involved in the committee there at Tyler as well, the secretary there. Who's your president these days?
Steve Howell.
Steve Howell, he's a young fella. And look, it's great to see a lot of young people involved, and I guess that's part of what you guys at the Eagles are trying to do, is trying to rejuvenate the club and bring it back to its once glory days in the local league. Tell us a bit more about what is happening at Falmungers Road off the park.
Well, off the park at the moment. Well, we've just got back to training. We've had our first game and stuff, but we've been organising fundraisers and stuff like that.
Yep.
We've got a trivia night coming up. Just stuff that we've had lined up to do, but we haven't been able to do because of COVID and stuff. It's kind of put a hold on all that. So,
how much of an effect did COVID have on the club, and the inactivity of any football activity last year, apart from a little bit of juniors?
Well, the seniors obviously couldn't play, so it was a bit disappointing. But all the fundraisers and stuff, it meant we couldn't, run our trivia nights and all our all the other fundraisers throughout the year and that we kind of rely on and that. So it kind of put us down a bit there. But we're good to get back up and running again this year, hopefully. So.
Now, Jared, thanks again for joining us tonight. Much appreciated. Tell us a little bit about, for those of us who don't know you so well, how long have you been involved in football, and specifically your journey at Breakwater Eagles that's led you to being like a captain, committee member, like just a general all-round good guy at Breakwater?
I started with a mate, Connor Blackwell. He's got me over to Breakwater Eagles in 2011. And I kind of haven't left. I've loved it there. So I've stayed there the whole time. It wasn't, this is my third year on the committee. That's been good to kind of see what goes on behind the scenes and stuff like that. So, and all the work that goes on. I've also been lucky enough to be able to give input with especially with the new logo and stuff like that. I've been happy to play a part in that. So
So you're a bit of a graphic designer, is that right, Jared? We've got the logo there up on screen. It looks slick. It looks really modern. Looks fantastic. How'd you sort of come up with that? And was it something that you played around with quite a fair bit, or quite came to you fairly quickly?
It was a fair bit of mucking around, but it was good fun to work on it. It was, I had my preferred ideas and stuff. Once I saw it, I knew I wanted to follow along with that. So, yeah.
Now we've got a couple of your mates, your colleagues coming here and saying, Hamish Hosmer goes, Jared Ross equals loyalty. Now we're not talking loyalty just in lowercase letters, loyalty in capital L's. Mate, that's 10 years now that you've been at the club. Are they going to give you some sort of a long service leave or a watch or something like that?
VIP card, yeah, I don't know.
Now, we've also got Rajneel Ram says,
this is a
Jared
good comment.
Ross, the skipper with the best mullet in Geelong. Now, is it true that you're growing it and then eventually you're going to cut it for charity or something like that?
Yeah, well, I was, the thought did cross my mind. I was actually going to, do it for some kind of fundraiser or whatever, but I've grown attached to it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens later on.
And has any of the teammates tried to replicate your haircut, or would it be like possibly also the case that you're the only graphic designer going around that actually also has a mullet?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me stand out, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some mullets coming up in the club, so shout out to Wade. He's trying to compete, so yeah.
Is he doing a good job or not really?
Oh, I give him the thumbs up.
Yeah. Now, from the president himself, a true leader. Now, I don't know, when a president says to a committee member, a true leader, is that some sort of like a succession plan? Is that what he's planning on, grooming you to be the next president? I don't know. Stephen probably has got some ulterior motives there, but no, it's great to have that acknowledgement. Great to have that recognition, mate. Once upon a time, it was a big club, Breakwater Eagles. They'd won many championships, particularly in the men's division. These days, it's a club that's really starting to get back to basics with a lot of juniors. You're really working hard on getting the juniors. Unfortunately, there's no women's team this year. What happened there? And, there was a women's team, I think, a couple of years ago, and that was the first time for a long time. Let's talk about the juniors. That seems to be going really, really well.
Yeah, well, this year has been the largest intake for juniors in the last 5 years at Breakwater. So we've got an under-7 side, we've got 3 under-9s teams, an under-11s, under-12s, and then we've got our under-16s. So, doing really well this year with that. So, I mean, that's been a big focus, especially because they're going to be, the future of the club. We want them all to, hopefully play seniors. I want to be able to, play with some of the people that I've coached in that eventually. Yeah. So,
and are you starting to find a lot of those players, as we can see some of the kids there from the mini roos on screen now? Geez, the kids look fantastic. They're different to anything what we've got in Geelong, I suppose. The red and white stripes. Everyone seems to have, very plain colours or just blue and that kind of stuff. But it's a nice difference on the. And I guess that's an ode to the Polish heritage, the red and white, isn't it, of the White Eagle Club that still backs the club, yeah?
Yeah. Well, the red and white has always been a important part of the club. So, that won't be changing anytime soon. So,
yeah. And getting back to those mini roos, it's great to see the kids in action. And, from what I'm told, it's not just a catchment of the sort of the Breakwater Newcombe area, but there are kids that come from pretty much all parts of the southern suburbs.
Yeah, I think, I don't know off the top of my head. I know we've got a lot of people, that travel and stuff to play. So that's good that, they chose us and that. So, it's been good having them. So.
Now, Jared, your facility there down at Fellmongers Road, obviously it's a private facility. It's not a council-run venue. Is there any news or any updates planned there? And how's the state of the pitch and the facilities going this year after the year off last year?
Well, I mean, the year off gave it a bit of chance, for the grass to, I guess, get better with no use in that. But yeah, we're still got change rooms that need to be done and stuff like that. Like it's still on the waiting list, I suppose. But yeah, we're need to get that sorted. So, but yeah, apart from that, we've got a pretty good pitch to play on. I haven't played on anything too fancy, so I kind of can't compare to that. But yeah, I'm happy with it. So.
And mate, being a co-captain, we're going to bring the other co-captain on shortly. But what's a couple of words to describe your co-captain, Josh RADCLIFFE? What are some of his positives? Let's talk positive here. What are some of his positive characteristics?
Oh, he's a good leader. He's reliable. I can definitely have him by my side or whatever, and rely on him. So, he's good support. So,
let's see what he has to say about you. We're going to bring him on the screen now, very, very shortly. So there we go. We've got Josh RADCLIFFE joining us as well tonight. Josh, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and you have been in the green room, so you've been able to listen in on what Jared was saying about you. What about yourself, mate? What are some of the characteristics that you could say about Jared that really make him stick out as a great captain?
Well, you've already touched on it a little bit, but fantastic haircut. No, look, he's just he's a great all-round guy. Great. When I first kind of came to the club, he was kind of always up and about, always one of those guys that you kind of go up to as the first port of call. Which is good. It kind of gives you the confidence to get around the other lads as well, get your name known. But in terms of like on the pitch, man, guy's got a great header as well.
Does the hairstyle somehow contribute to heading ability?
I really think that extra play.
Does it help? No, look, all jokes aside, with the mullet, short back and front, but long sides, does it help with the streamlined nature of running down the flank? Well, what position do you play, Jared?
I'm a centre back.
So, centre back, yep. So you guys have a hard head, is that right?
Yeah.
Josh, what about yourself? What position do you play?
Well, this season I'm playing as a CDM, so I'm sat just in front of Jared, and actually my old man who's playing centre back. So I think between the three of us, we've got a couple of hard heads.
Oh, so do you get a fair bit of voice from behind you there, Josh?
Yeah, there's a fair bit of voice coming from all across the pitch this season.
Great to hear. Gents, tell us about the senior team setup. So we've got a team in Division 2 and a team in Division 3 of the Geelong Region men's competition. Let's first of all talk about the Divi 2 blokes. So that's your team, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Who are some of the players that have been doing really well so far? I mean, I know we've just started the season, but who are some of the players in pre-season or some of the practice matches and maybe the first game? Who have been the standouts in your team?
I think there's been, for me especially, there's been a lot of standouts. I think a lot of the boys have really stepped up. We didn't have a huge pre-season. It wasn't overly lengthy.
Yeah.
But the numbers were certainly there. There was quite a lot of us at trainings and things like that. Someone that's really stepped up for me would be our new goalkeeper. We've got a lad called Lockie in goal. And he's just been solid as anything. It's been great having him there.
Is he new to the club or does he come up through the juniors?
He's new to the club, I think. But I'm pretty new to the club as well.
So is this your first year at the club, is it?
Yeah, this will be my first full season at the club.
Yeah. So where have you played before?
Yeah, I was in New Zealand. So I
was
born in the UK and played over there. And then I moved to New Zealand and played there and then moved here. And I sort of started playing at the end of 2019, just as the season was wrapping up, and played a couple of friendlies and things like that.
Yep.
And then we had the 2020 COVID thing and that.
The wipeout.
Yeah, the wipeout.
Yeah.
Big black. But it just meant that there was, no chance to play. So this is my first season in the competition.
And how have you found it coming back to football after the full year off? How's the muscles, the hamstrings and everything? Has there been any issues there?
No, it's been all right. I kind of try and keep myself active at the gym and things like that. So it's been okay. I think the first 90 minutes I played was a little bit of a shock to the system, but I don't know, to be expected, I guess. And
what about for you, Jared?
Yeah, well, it was a bit hard to get back into it, but the first game it was a bit tiring, bit sore, but fitness before that helped. So, but yeah, I've still got hamstring problems and that on and off, which pretty much I think everyone will know by now at the club. So yeah, hopefully that's better for future games.
Yeah, and I was going to just jump in again, Tonci, if that's all right. Yeah. Let's talk about the coaching setup there at Breakwater Eagles. We haven't delved into that angle of the conversation yet. not to suck up or anything to the coaching staff there or anything, but how are they going so far this season? How do you see their performances, and maybe a bit of a shout out to them?
I think that for me, I don't want to suck up to them, but they are great. Having Dan at the club is awesome. He's got a great deal of knowledge, and a lot of that's been imparted on us. And I think that certainly since I've come, you can see the difference in a lot of the players. A lot of the younger players are kind of benefiting from it a great deal as well. There's also Jim, who takes the Div 3 side, who's kind of always there with Dan. But I think the club's definitely going in the right direction. It is, in terms of his coaching style, it is definitely a lot more back to basics, and let's nail the simple things and get those going. And I think it's hugely beneficial.
Jared, looking at the Div 3 team, they've started off with 2 wins or 2 losses from 2 games. Unfortunately, they lost on the weekend. I think it was I've just got it here against Bowen Heads 3-1. Now, is it a very young side? Because we know 2 years ago, Breakwater Eagles, I think, had an under-16s, under-17s team that was just about to move into the senior ranks. And this would probably be the vast majority of that squad, I dare say. Is that right?
Yeah, well, we do have a lot of younger guys that have stepped up in that just recently. And then we've also had some of our under-16s that joined in that game as well. So it's been a learning experience, I suppose. But I reckon the scoreline doesn't reflect how we played. I reckon we played some great games, and could have gone either way. So yeah.
Still early days yet, obviously. But look, there's 15 teams. Now, Steve and I were talking about this, off air a while ago. 9 teams in Division 1, 9 teams in Division 2, but 15 teams in Division 3. That seems really lopsided. Are there any plans, gents, do you know? Are they going to split it up into a Divi 3, Divi 4, or are they going to just keep it as a 15-team single division? What's FFE thinking?
I'm not sure what they're thinking. I know that there was some talk of it around the club, that it certainly makes sense to push 2 teams up from Div 2 and then push 2 teams up from Div 3 and kind of spread it out a little bit. But I'm not too sure if there's anything in the works to sort those numbers out.
Yeah, I don't know. Bit weird. Let's turn our attention to this weekend coming. Now, the Div 3 team, they're at home to Barwon at 3 p.m. on Sunday, I believe. And what about you guys? Are you guys also at home on the weekend?
No, we're off at Hume Reserve playing Corio at 1 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be.
And Corio are currently 3rd, I think. So they've got 1 win and 1 draw from their opening 2 games. So it'll be a pretty tough game. But Corio are always a tough side to beat at the best of times, aren't they?
Yeah.
And sorry, Steve.
Sorry, no, you go.
No, you go.
Oh no, I think you might have been on a flow there. You go, mate.
No, I've been talking too much. I think you now need to talk. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Just back to the committee side of things, Jared. How are the numbers looking on the board there? And is there any chance you might be able to recruit Josh onto the committee as well?
Oh, definitely have him on the committee. At the moment we've got about 8 people. It'd be good to recruit some more people. So get ready, Josh. You might be joining very shortly if you want.
Yeah, let's give him a bit of a shout out, Jared. We know Stephen Howell is the president and he's tuning in. He's saying, well done, lads, by the way, in the comments section. Who else have we got in the committee? Who's the secretary, treasurer, vice president, etc.?
Yeah, well, Tyler's the secretary. Jim's the treasurer and vice president. We've got Hamish. He's in charge of fundraising and stuff. We've got Steve as the president and the coordinator, the canteen coordinator. We've got me as a general member. We've got James King as a general member as well. And we've got Zoe, Jim's daughter as well, that's just recently joined. So
fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's great to see.
And speaking of the off-field side of things as well, this one for Josh. How is the social situation, a social scene, should I say, at Breakwater Eagles? Do the players get around each other after the games and hang out and mingle and that sort of thing, or is it sort of everyone burning out of the car park in a hurry?
No, I think that's actually a massive part of the club. I think that all the boys get on really well. I think at clubs you often have a couple of players that kind of feud a little bit, but there's not from what I've seen anyway. There's been none of that at Breakwater. I think everybody's mates. We have a group chat going and that kind of thing as well.
Nice.
But again, I think that helps in terms of when you get on with your teammates, it's always easier to win with them as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And the group chat, that always, once that gets up and running, that can also help the on-field performances too, if that's going well, I think too.
Just that bond and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. On a side note, Jared, we were talking a little bit off air, and unfortunately, the club wasn't able to get a senior women's team up and running this year. And it seems to be a problem across the board this year. There was something like 22, 23 women's teams 2 years ago. This year, barely 12 senior women's teams. But a lot of the girls ladies have ended up staying involved with the club. Here's an opportunity to give them a bit of a public pat on the back. Some of them have stayed on as coaching, being involved in coaching and other activities around the club. Who are some of them that have done that? Give them a bit of a shout out.
Well, we've just Zoe and Brooke. They've taken the under-7 side to coach, so it's been good to have them still stay down and stay involved with the club even if they can't play. So and we've still got some of the girls that come down and watch all the time for game day and that. So that's always good. So.
Great to see that they're not lost to the game, that's for sure, because, COVID seems to have played a big role in causing havoc, particularly with the female side of the game here in Geelong, unfortunately. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. As I said to Steve at the top of the show, I love these episodes because you get a real insight into some of the clubs that make up our rich tapestry of football here in Geelong. Breakwater Eagles certainly is one of those clubs. So, Josh and Jared, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
That was Jared Ross and Josh Radcliffe from the Breakwater Eagles Soccer Club. Steve, really good to get an insight into the runnings of a club like that. And mate, we're really running out of time. Have we got any more? Have we got a halftime score there from the Western United game?
Yeah, halftime at Amy Park. It's Western United 1, Newcastle Jets 0.
Okay,
so no change to that score. Topper Stanley with the own goal on the 12th minute. Good to chat to the boys from Breakwater. It's really good that a club like Breakwater gets to have a bit of publicity because, we're on here, we're talking about NPL and we talk about a lot of the state leagues. And then even when we hit the local league, we're still usually talking about the local league Div 1. So clubs that don't feature in the local league Div 1 don't get the publicity they deserve, given the amount of work that goes in, like tireless work going in from volunteers at a club such as Breakwater, we heard many of them mentioned just then. So big shout to everyone down there who's doing a great job and keep up the good work and hopefully be more publicity coming your way.
Absolutely. Now let's turn our attention to the local league. So we're going to cover the Division 1 men's and Division 1 women's competition. Unfortunately, there's just too many divisions to be able to go through to cover all the rest. So we will focus on these two. Now, these are the results of the games played last weekend, Steve, in the men's Division 1 competition.
Yep, so starting off the match on Friday night, Alco Park Cardinals in a 4-3 win over Bell Park. So that I'm not sure the sequence of the scoring, but that 4-3 sounds like a thriller. On Sunday, Corio Bay 1, Surf Coast 5, Drysdale 2, Armstrong United 2, and FC Leopold 3, Geelong Rangers 1. Barwon had the bye.
Now, at the top of the standings after two rounds, we've got Drysdale and Alco Park Cardinals sharing the summit with 4 points apiece. Then we have Barwon in third place, Leopold in fourth, Bell Park in fifth, and Surf Coast in sixth, all on 3 points. Then we have Armstrong United and Geelong Rangers with 1 point apiece. And then at the bottom, we have Corio Bay yet to register a point. Fixtures coming up for this weekend, Steve.
Yep, all these games on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Surf Coast versus Armstrong United, Drysdale versus Bell Park, FC Leopold versus Alco Park Cardinals, and Geelong Rangers versus Barwon. Corio Bay will have the bye. All those matches played at the home team's venue.
Yeah, so some good games coming up there No doubt. Let's turn our attention to the women's division. 12-team, as for those that aren't aware, it's a 12-team single division. I dare say things will probably change, and either at the halfway mark of the season or in the next few weeks, there'd have to be some sort of structural changes to the competition. But Bowen took on Drysdale Friday night, and that was at that game was at Grovedale Reserve, Steve.
Yeah, that match 2-2 there. Deakin Ducks Gold and Geelong. I wasn't able to find a result for that one anywhere on the Sports TG or the respective club's Facebook page, although that Geelong did post a goal from that match in a video, which was a sumptuous volley, but I don't know the full-time score.
Well, I do. And thank you, Jared Engstrom, the president of Deakin Ducks, who did get in touch with me earlier today, and he did confirm that it was Geelong 6, Deakin Ducks Gold 0. In that particular scoreline. So Geelong shooting up to the top of the standings after that result. But Geelong Rangers had a massive away win at Village Park in Bowen Heads over Bowen Heads, 11 goals to 0. Surf Coast were 3-0 winners over Armstrong.
Yeah, that was
Armstrong United after
that's
Armstrong.
a forfeit win.
Forfeit win, yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking to Jamie Greenhill, the assistant coach of the men's out there at Armstrong Creek, the Pelicans. I was speaking to him on Saturday morning, and he informed me that poor old Armstrong Creek women's team, they had a couple of severe injuries in their first game last week, which contributed to their heavy loss in round one. And I think they had one player doing an Achilles, another player with a serious knee injury, both ending up in hospital. So thoughts are with those players who suffered injuries in the first game of the season. It's very sad. And I think if there's anyone umming and ahhing, hopefully not put off by that news, that Armstrong Creek could use a few extra women's players so they can get a full team, because they just didn't have enough players available after that in round one that they had to forfit. So
Armstrong United, mate. Armstrong United, not Armstrong Creek.
Yeah, Armstrong United, sorry. Yeah, I knew that looked wrong on the screen.
Yeah. The Gremlins.
They are in Armstrong Creek.
They are in Armstrong Creek, correct, yeah. North Geelong Warriors bounced back after their loss last week. And they defeated Deakin Ducks Black 5-2. So that was a good result over a fellow, I guess, title contender. So a big win there for the Warriors, who enjoyed a very, very successful weekend, both with their state league team and their local league team as well. And then finally, FC Leopold. Wow, they've caused a great they've really done well. They've scored their second win in as many games, defeating Corio Bay 2-1. So kudos to the Greens there. They're doing something really well after what last year, I think it was, or 2 seasons ago, having their first women's team, or was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I can't remember exactly. 2018, I think, is when they debuted with their first women's club. And already they're doing really well. So we've got 3 teams, Steve, on 6 points. Geelong Soccer Club at the top with by virtue of a superior goal difference. Geelong Rangers in second spot, and then FC Leopold in third spot with 6 points. And then we've got Drysdale and Barwon making up the top 5 with 4 points apiece. But let's move along to the fixtures for this weekend. There we go.
So kicking off the round, Barwon again with another home game, 7 o'clock on Friday night against Barwon Heads. Then on Saturday at 11 a.m, it's Geelong versus FC Leopold. At 1 p.m, Surf Coast versus Deakin Ducks Gold. Also at 1 p.m, Drysdale versus Armstrong United. And North Geelong Warriors versus Geelong Rangers. And rounding out that list of 1 p.m. fixtures on Saturday, Corio Bay versus Deakin Ducks. That will be Deakin Ducks Black.
Yeah, Corio Bay had that, what was it, 8-0 win, I think, in the round 1. So they obviously must have had a little bit of an off day last weekend. So Deakin Ducks, going down to North Geelong, and Corio Bay obviously going down to FC Leopold. Both those teams will be really looking forward to getting back on the winners' track. But I think the big match of the day is going to be the one at Alco Park at 1 o'clock on Saturday. North Geelong Warriors taking on the Geelong Rangers. A more weakened North Geelong Warriors compared to previous seasons, obviously with a lot of their best players playing in the State League team. But nonetheless, it's going to be a good game, and I think a great indication of where both these teams are as far as title contention. But should be a good weekend of football coming up, Steve.
Absolutely, mate. Looking forward to it already, and I guess we'll get things started on Wednesday night with that FFA Cup fixture.
Yeah, absolutely. That should be
what will you be up to next weekend, mate, or this week coming?
Once again, probably more football, and more football, no doubt. But yeah, look, I love this time of year. Before it gets too cold and before the weather gets too wintry, although Saturday will prove to be a real wintry type of a day, it's a great opportunity to get out and about. So I'm hoping to catch a few games this weekend as well. So yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Before we go, anyone out there who would love to become a member, show your support, become a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's easy. Go to www.patreon.com/Geelong Region Soccer Show. Now, not only can you become a member for as little as $15 and as much as only $25 a month, but also you will be receiving daily news articles about the Geelong football scene in the Geelong Daily Football News Bulletin. Exclusive to members of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's a subscription-based service. Good to see, Steve, that we are getting a little bit more extra publicity in the Geelong Advertiser in recent weeks. But yeah, look, it's still never enough. There's so many stories in the Geelong football community that we could have every day. We could have 5 articles in the Advertiser and still it wouldn't be enough. But yeah. Become a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. At least every weekday in your inbox, you will get 1 and sometimes 2 news articles a day about the Geelong region scene. So www.patreon.com/Geelong Region Soccer Show. And mate, that takes us out. I think it's time to watch the second half of the Western United game. Hey.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go and see if they can get a spot in the top 6.
Awesome, mate. On that note, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you to everyone for joining us. Good night and see you next Monday night. And remember, this Sunday at 7 p.m, new day, new time slot. It's the Football Out West show coming to you live on Facebook Live. Good night. Bye-bye.